Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do the utilities for the site. The first thing we need to do is bring in some blocks. So we're going to go to our drafting tab and we're going to import some blocks from a drawing that we have. I'm going to navigate to the folder here, chapter 13 utilities, and we have this utilities structures DWG file that contains the blocks for our storm structures. So we're going to go ahead and import those. Now this brings in a whole bunch of different blocks. You can see if I look, I've got some VDOT ones. If I come up, I've got some other ones that are pretty much garbage. So I just like to clean these up. So I'm going to go and I'm going to purge blocks. So I'll just show you how that works. So I'm going to come in here. I want to get rid of all those, but I want to keep everything from catch basin down to the bottom VDOT storm structure. So I'm just going to shift select all of those, click that checkbox, and when I hit apply, it's going to purge out all those unnecessary blocks. So we'll go ahead and hit close. And now we can go ahead and start putting in some storm structures. So we'll start with the storm structures and then we'll come back and put in the pipes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my structures and we're going to use this VDOT type C. So we got a C6 which has a 6-foot throat. You can kind of see us look at it, image of it. It's got the grate in the parking area. There's some other different sizes we have as well. So we'll start with the location. And we're going to start back here in this corner, or the back of the building. So I'm just going to drop it in at the end of this line. It's going to ask for the elevation. So again, I'm just going to assign that to the end of this line, which was our low point of our grading. Then it's going to ask for a rotation angle. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick this and align it to the curb. Alright, so we've got that structure there, and then we're going to hit insert. I'm going to work my way over. Over here, we're going to put in a storm structure, or basically a manhole, a junction box. So let's go ahead and change this, and we'll come up to the drainage manhole. Same thing, we'll pick a location. So if we come over here, we got to get down to there. So our junction's probably going to be somewhere in this area here. So let's see, so let's go ahead and just put this off the back of this curb right here on this particular point. So for the elevation, we'll set it along this line at that point as well. Alright, the rotation doesn't matter because it's a circle, but we're going to go ahead and we're just going to bump the scale of this one up 5. This one, objects are scaled a little bit differently than the catch basins. So you can see here, it's sitting on that corner, and we can scale it down. Again, it's just a symbol, it doesn't matter. So I'll go ahead and insert that one. Now we'll come back here and let's go ahead and grab another 2C. So this time maybe we got to put a 10-inch throat or opening in here. So we'll go ahead and drop that one in there. Again, the elevation we're going to pick up from the line. So we'll say along this line, and I'm going to grab that there. For the rotation, I'm just going to pick here and we'll rotate it down. All right, along the curb line. That looks good. We'll insert that one there. Then our next one's down here. So again, the same task. We'll go ahead and we'll keep the same type. Our elevation will be along the line, and our rotation is going to be that way. Okay. Now we know we've got another one over here, so maybe this one is going to pick up. Maybe it's a little bit longer. We'll leave it at 10 for now. Oops, forgot to insert. So you got to make sure you insert it after you set the properties. If you don't, it actually doesn't insert it. So we'll come back over here. We know we're going to have another one because this is our actually it's over here, our flow line down this way, right? So we're dropping another one in here, and the elevation is going to be along the line, which is our grading plane break line. Our rotation, okay, will be from here, and it'll be this way, along there, and insert that one. And then up over here, do the same thing, drop it in along the line snap here, and a rotation angle Okay, and then we'll have one more up here. Again, it's another low spot. Maybe this one's just a 2C. And 6-inch, drop that one in. Along the line snap here, pick that. Rotation angle is going to be up this way. Kind of messed that up. Let's try it again. So again, this is nice as it doesn't insert it, because if you screw it up, you can fix it. So we'll just tweak that a little bit, and we'll insert that. Okay, so those are our storm structures. We're actually going to have another drainage manhole or junction box down here. So let's put another manhole in, and that location, let's say, is up here. So we're going to go from here, and we're going to put it into our pond here. So we'll just go ahead and set him at that location. Grab that elevation. Again, our scale is going to be 5, and we can move that if we want later. We can match it into our structure, okay, or into our surface. So now we've got the manholes. We're going to come in and we're going to put in the line string. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to create a line string for the pipes, and we'll call this storm pipe. And instead of the brake line layer, we're going to put it on our utility layer. So let's come down here, and we're going to start with some class 3 15-inch RCPs. All right, and we may have to change those later based on our parameters. So we're going to come in here, and I'm going to pick this point here as a starting point. You can see that it picks up the elevation. So that's actually the rim elevation, right? So I'm going to hit cancel, and we're going to drop it in for our invert. We're going to go down -4 feet. So I'm going to set that and save that as that first point. And then I'm going to come over to our center of our catch basin. So I'm going to add another point. We're going to say center of arc, or we can do insertion point. And I'll click that. We'll come back and I'll adjust those elevations. Let's get the pipes in first. Same thing here. I'm going to right click, do insertion point for that one, and we'll come down, right click, and insertion point for that one, right click, insertion point there. And then this last one is we're just going to come in and we'll drop it in here somewhere. Now we may come in and actually move this over here and put in a head wall. So, but for now, let's just go ahead and drop it in right here. And then we won't worry about the elevation on this one, because what I'm going to do, I'll just hit save. So you can see it's going down, through our structure. So what we want to do though is we want to come back and edit this point here, and let's get rid of the elevation. So we'll just put a question mark, and same thing here. I'm going to get rid of that. We'll hit save, and this one do the same thing. Let's hit save, just removing that. This one, same thing, and we'll hit save. So then here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put in a vertical PVI at that point with an incoming slope of -0.5%. So that adjusts this whole storm structure. So if we close this, what we can also do is right click and do profile viewer, and you can see there's our slope. We can turn on our surfaces by right clicking and from the menu I can pick on my finished design surface, my original surface, and my rock surface. So I can see that we're not in rock. We can see below my design until I get down into my pond here, and we can measure and check to make sure we got proper vertical clearance for our pipe. We could come in and adjust those pipes as well, drop them down a little bit more, but what we'll do is we'll add in our other pipes. We're actually, let's say we're happy with those and we're going to work with those. So let's do another line string. We'll keep it on the same layer. Again, I'm going to right click and go from insertion point of here, okay, to the end point over here. So we'll go insert or insertion point of that. So again, we're going to cancel, and for the elevation here, I'm going to hit remove that, and then this one over here, I'm actually going to come in, and again we got to have a minimum starting point of 4 feet. So we'll hit save tab and save on that. That drops that one down, and then I can come over to this point. We'll add a vertical, and I'll come in, and that one again is going to be an incoming slope. Again, my minimum is -0.5%, and sets that elevation there. Okay, so that's actually probably going to be a drop, depending on how it interacts with our other pipe. Okay, so it's actually a little bit higher, so it's going to come in and actually drop down, because you can see the green line here, which is our other utility, is actually higher as we look at it here in 3D. All right, so we can see in 3D that that pipe's higher at 0.5%, so we're good there. Now we'll do the same thing down here, as we'll put in this pipe going across here. All right, now we did forget to put in that structure, so let's go ahead and add that structure while we're here. We'll insert that block. Again, this will be a VDOT 2C. Let's just go ahead and make it 10. And for the location, pick there. The elevation along the line. Rotation. Insert that one. I forgot to hit insert on that. So now we'll come back and let's go back to our data prep. Line string, the pipes are the same. Click OK. Again, we'll come over here. We'll pick insertion point of that, and we will minus 4 feet for our starting point, and we'll insert in these others here. So we'll come over here, go ahead and drop that one in there. We'll come back to that in a second. I'll go ahead and drop that one in there. We'll cancel, delete that, add a vertical point at this location, but we'll make it incoming slope -0.5, and we will come up here and same thing. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that. Oops. Make sure we get rid of this. Alright, so that's better. So it's on the wrong point. So this one here, if we go to vertical, we've got our vertical. If we take a look there, we can see that we're actually lower at that one. So just by looking at this, I can see that this line is lower than that one. So what we're going to have to do is, that's at our minimum, so we're going to have to increase the slope on this one. So not a problem, I'm just going to pick this, I'm going to right click, edit, and we will come in to the vertical here and actually insert a vertical point at this point, and the elevation we want to match. Okay, along this line here, which is our utility storm pipe, at that point right there. So now we can save that one. Okay. So that's going to adjust our slopes going back up here. Alright, it's going to drop that one a little bit. We could come back in here and maybe bring this one up and see if that maintains a 0.5%. So what we can do, because remember it's pulling it all the way down, so if we come in, pick a point here, we change this to incoming slope, so we don't want to go too deep with it. And it'll say incoming slope -0.5, hit save. That adjusts, that brings it up a little bit. That's maintaining a 0.5% all the way through there, and then it's going to adjust down there. So if we look at this again in our profile view, we'll see a little bit different view. So now you can see we're sloping down. We'll turn on our surfaces for finished. We know we're not in the rocks, we don't have to open that. We'll just open up that one. So you can see we're coming down and we're dropping it down, and we're looking pretty good in with our pipe there. Okay. So that's really just laying out some blocks and some line strings to represent the pipes. We'll go ahead and show you how you can create a trench for this pipe next.